All right, welcome. We're going to interview David because I know how much you guys want to get to know the biggest piece of shit on our show.
I'm the black sheep for sure, I feel like, which I embrace.
You say some of the most horrendous stuff on the show.
For comedy's sake.
Is it?
I think it is.
Is it really for comedy's sake?
It is. Because you know my personality, this is how I live.
No, don't explain it to me. Explain it to them.
Well, I don't give a fuck what they think. I want them to give I want our audience to typically have the fucking perception that I'm a dark-hearted piece of shit, but really, I'm a father of two and a husband and super someone that everyone can count on, right, and usually pretty good.
So you brought your family up, and that's always been a pretty interesting conversation piece. I'm sure.
I love that everyone bash. Oh, I love that Brad.
It's not that we bash him.
Brad does.
It's not what we say about your family.
But I do as well.
But what you say about your family. I think myself and most of the people watching would agree. How did you trick someone into marrying you?
Well, here's the deal. I'm not sure.
You don't know.
I don't know.
Are you saying that everything that's happened to you as far as your love life has been luck?
Luck? I mean, I do consider myself extremely lucky. And I typically...
We all think you're lucky.
I feel like that is one thing... That's one reason why I play up, honestly. Just making jokes all the time and saying bad shit and being like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Is because I never want to come off as braggy. But I do consider myself extremely lucky. I don't believe in God, but I consider myself blessed, if that makes sense.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Okay. Well, God's not real. We can argue around that. But I consider myself extremely lucky, and I've been blessed in life by some kind of power. And we can get into religion if you want to. But I know that you might feel the same way that I do. But I just, I never want to come off as braggy, so I never talk up everything.
How much does your wife have to do for you to say these things now?
Nothing. I got braggy and super lucky where I have a wife with almost the same sense of humor as I do, and she knows I just play it up in front of everybody. It's just funny, but we have a super awesome home life. And it's chill.
So let's switch it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Recently, there was some graphical changes to the shout pages, and there was little animated characters created. Yours has the shittiest beard.
It does. I have a bad
Why
beard.
do you think that is? Why do you think you get so much shit about your neck?
So
beard?
I think that I grow it out very well here, which you can't see because I shaved the other day. I shaved 2 days ago. This is any indication of how fast I grow facial hair.
Right now, your face looks pretty much exactly how I feel your butthole looks like.
I would not know that. I could take a look.
You
when
never
I get home
mirror
and let
looked?
you back.
Never mirror checked?
It's too hard, man. I'm too fat now.
Yeah,
and I was never.
Did you ever think that wiping your own ass would be an issue?
No, I was never that curious when I was skinny, and now that I'm fat, I'm like, fuck, I can't do it.
Isn't it crazy how much shit that was simple becomes harder the bigger you get? Because I'm in the same boat. Mm-hmm. We both used to be tiny.
Sometimes putting on socks in the morning, I'm like, I need to lose weight. Because I have to bounce myself on the fucking bed. And I'm
when you bend over to pick something up and you catch your breath when you come back to the surface. It's pretty bad.
I have 2 kids. One of them that just started walking, and the other one has been walking for 2 years.
Are you afraid you're not going to be able to keep up with them when they get to 7, 8?
I have a feeling that if I didn't have them, I'd be way fatter than I am. So I feel like they're keeping me in shape, which is nice. I need to keep up with it. This is me. I went to the park with them. I posted a video on Facebook. I go, now that it's nice, I feel like in the wintertime I eat worse and drink worse and lay around more. But in the summertime with the kids, I'm out a lot more. I just need to give up on soda and pizza, honestly.
I think everyone does.
Yeah.
Everyone does.
But soda's the best thing ever. So don't give it up. Everyone, keep going. Keep going.
You just finger gun.
I just fucking Shooter McGavin.
Shooter McGavin.
For fucking Mountain Dew.
All right. So.
But my beard, I never inched my beard. I feel like I grow it out better down here. But up here, it's super patchy.
Well, based on your cartoon in person, that's exactly what it does look like.
Well, I didn't draw my own thing, so I guess we're just taking the opinion of whoever drew it.
Well, that guy clearly doesn't like you. Whoever drew that clearly doesn't like you.
I'm glad I'll never know who that is.
The rest of them seem pretty close to accurate.
All of them look really nice.
Except for yours.
I did mention...
What would you change about your avatar?
I told you, I would make my eyes beadier.
You told me, but we're doing an interview.
Okay, I would tell the artist that I think I have beady eyes, and when I smile, they beat up, which is why in family pictures, when I smile, I have to struggle to try to open my eyes and smile at the same time.
Does it bother you that members of your own show have said that the biggest problem with working with you is that you have eyes that clearly are dead on the inside, but you match it with the bottom half of your face being a smiley clown look?
No.
And it's really off-putting for people to look at you and have conversations.
What's funny is of all the times I've been roasted by all my other coworkers on the show, this is the first time I'm hearing it, and it's not the worst thing that's been said to me. So I honestly don't really... So,
what do you think the worst... Has there been anything said about you on the show where you kind of like went to your car after the show and were like, God damn?
Honestly, nothing, because I think that is more entertainment than any of the shit we cover in the show. And I play it up purposely for you guys to fire on me.
Do you feel like ever since Mike left the show, you have become the punching bag?
No, because I don't think Mike was ever the punching bag.
I don't know. We made a lot of fun of him not talking or not saying anything ever.
I used to rag on him for his fucking random ass choices, which I missed because now I've become the weird choice in the brackets we do.
He'll be back. I don't know if he's going to be part of the show, but he'll be back.
He'll be back. Okay, that's
he'll be
good.
back. So we'll, if we have room for him anymore, now that we've made the location.
He can always sit and.
So we changed locations. Do you like the new spot?
Yes, because from an editing standpoint, I would always spend forever trying to just like the contrast and the lighting, right? And no matter what, one of us were always like to make anybody but you and Tommy, because you guys were always center. You guys always
there's a reason we're center.
Too bright, yeah, because you guys are the stars of the show, and you're the host. You can't have the one who introduces the show.
I am not the host. I was forced into that.
You're a host.
I do eat it up. I do like it. I'm not gonna say I don't, but so.
But no, I'd hear it just because of the lighting.
Why?
And the fact we don't fuck around with your dogs anymore.
It's true. Even
though I do love the episode where Tommy or Brad pulls up as gun and threatens to shoot your dog, and I know in the episode we said we would cut it, but I left it in and cut right after that just for comedic effect.
So, what is it that made you want to do a podcast? Why do you fucking think that people should give a fuck about what comes out of your mouth?
I think we're funny and entertaining, but to be completely honest, I didn't go into this thinking we would get any viewers. I just am a huge fan of podcasts, and I listen to them nonstop. And
you are correct. We don't have any viewers.
We have very few.
This is for us.
Yeah, I think. I just like it. I enjoy it. I have fun. I look forward to it every week, every other week, every other Friday now. I look forward to being able to get off work and come home. And
is that because you don't really have any other friends who will hang out with you?
Oh, no, that's not true at all. What's funny is out of all my friends, I never figured I would see you, Brad, and Tommy the most out of all of them. I think it's... At first I was like, man, it's really funny that I don't see like any of like Sean or Clayton as much. And I even have showed Clayton before. I'm like, we got to do a podcast because that way we're scheduled to see each other. But I like it, though.
Do you consider us more work friends?
No, not at all.
So you don't find
we've been friends.
Because this is very taxing to me sometimes dealing with you.
Oh, I know. And I know I do it on purpose, and I can see it in your face. And all that does is just drive me to do it more. Which is, like, it's the same thing as when you're trolling or making fun of anybody. If you get a reaction, the person quits doing it.
You literally are a giant child.
Trolling, child, whatever.
I mean, that's the
what's funny is
of like an adolescent.
You can say that, but at the same time, I feel like I have like so much fucking responsibility that it cancels out my childness. I'm a very weird. It's hard to explain to people because I also have so much responsibility.
You're basing that on the fact that you're raising children.
But I am.
But we haven't seen the end point of how those kids end up.
Yeah,
so you can't really say that, like, because if they end up really well, then you have a point. If they don't, then it shatters all of that reality.
There was a text message I got a couple weeks ago where I had left a 44-ounce Mountain Dew from the night before on the table, and I went to work, and my wife texted me, and she said, so Lucas got up in the morning and was chugging your Mountain Dew. I tried to stop him, and he ran for me, and I chased him while he chugged it. By the time I got it, he dropped it, and he said, oh, shit, so you need to start watching your mouth. And I think I forwarded that to you.
Yeah, no, I remember.
And it's like, okay, like, I'm obviously having an impact on my kid's life. And he knows Batman. Some of his favorite things are Halloween, Cat in the Hat, Paw Patrol, and Batman. And there's an episode of Justice League where it's a Halloween theme episode, and he'll always come up to me and go, "Daddy, Batman, Halloween." If my wife was in charge of raising him completely, you wouldn't know what that is.
So, do you blame your obsession with Rugrats on your children, or is that just...
I've never watched them with my kids. They were uninterested. I've tried to show Lucas. Rugrats is just purely a nostalgia thing.
Is it true you almost got divorced because of Rugrats?
It's not, I don't think I've ever come close to divorce, but there was a problem when Rugrats first got launched on Netflix, all 7 seasons. I watched 2 seasons in a row, and the cuteness factor wore off, where she was like, if I hear that theme song one more time, I'm going to fucking lose my shit.
Can you give me the theme song now?
That is far from the worst, like, the melody.
Yeah, just a couple bars.
But I'm tone deaf, and the audience won't like it.
Oh, I think they'll like that more.
I don't think I will. I can explain to you what happens in the opening cutscene. But no,
I don't want to shot for shot.
I'm never going to sing anything on this show, so no. You're not getting that up from me. I'm sorry.
So you will
But that is far from the worst.
How do you divine that line? Because you will say some of the most foul-mouthed shit I've ever heard, and you're perfectly fine with people seeing that.
Uh-huh.
But you won't hum a couple shitty, out-of-key bars?
I feel like, honestly, when everyone's talking...
Do you think that's going to turn people away from watching this show?
It won't. I think it will bore people. I really honestly think that, like, when you guys are talking about, like, oh, it's so tragic that the gator... like, ate that little kid at Disneyland, and I say Team Gator. I feel like that's so shocking and random that it makes people who are listening just laugh. Than me singing, I don't think anybody...
I want to make this very clear, because I want to say that there's probably a handful of people who would watch that and think that you're doing it just for shock.
Yeah.
Not realizing that that's just who you are as a human being. Like, you communicate. We have a group text going with the crew, because that's how we stay in contact.
And I never get any response from any of my heartless shit. Like all the United gifts.
Do you have an issue with spelling? Is that why you prefer to communicate 80% in GIF?
I think it's funny. I think when someone says something stupid, instead of saying like, what the fuck you talking about, it's funnier to post a GIF of somebody like scratching their head or being like, what the fuck? I just think it's hilarious.
So you're not good with the English language?
Well, we would all argue, and I don't want to bring your spelling and grammar.
My spelling is atrocious.
But I would bring it to it that I'm the only one that actually spells everything correctly.
First off, you cannot go tit for tat with Tommy. Tommy is...
I post a lot more, though. But he is, too, but I also use
Tommy
grammar
writes
and
giant
spelling,
blogs
too.
and articles all the time.
Well, yeah, but not to me,
though.
So
he's like a giant perfectionist
when
it comes to that. He corrects... When I post the videos up, I'm like, Tommy, it's up, and he'll go, fix this and this. I'm like, thank you. Every time, guarantee it.
He does. Well, he does. If he posts that shit to Reddit, because he's a huge imager in Reddit. Did I say imager right for you guys?
Just mostly imager is what he does.
Imager in Reddit. If he does it, then he'll get ripped apart. So I feel like that's the culture that he's involved in. Because that motherfucker has a ton of upvotes. I never want to guess. I'm just a lurker.
So you're on an island, okay? You can have music or comic books. But not both.
So here's the deal. How do I have music? Is it on an iPod with battery?
You have an iPod with a great Wi-Fi connection. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so I won't run out of
it. This is a fictional question. You're
not
stuck.
No, but like...
You're not getting anything new.
Okay, but comic books won't ever run out, but music could eventually run out of battery or whatever. So that does play into
No. You have infinite battery power.
Music's my number one. I've even told my wife, and she jokingly says like, "Oh, that's great. I'm play second fiddle," but I know she knows. I know it hurts her, but I don't care. Music is my number one passion in all life. Then family.
So how do you explain not being able to play a single instrument?
I explain it to everyone that tells me I'm just a fan. Like I've always just been more of a fan, and I'm still into it. I still know more than most fans. So I can talk to people that play instruments to like relate to them and talk to them about like certain keys and frets. But Tommy
is a musician.
But Tommy is a musician who will say like, oh, like, you know, David Lee Roth's better than Sammy Hagar. But then he just covered a Sammy Hagar song on his video, so he obviously doesn't know what he's talking about.
I believe he didn't say he was better. He said that David Lee Roth was a better showman.
A better showman, which I can assume.
Not arguable.
No, it's not, because I posted a video because there's a fucking Van Halen DVD with Sammy Hagar where the drummer's wearing a neck brace. I said like, why aren't you wearing your neck brace for this cover? And Sammy Hagar, he sings better, but he performs like shit. He's just jumping around the entire time. I'm like, what is this, a fucking aerobics video, Sammy? Calm the fuck down and maybe
everything he knows from Gene, so.
Yeah. I feel like Tommy is. I mean, everybody's biased in their own way, but I feel like music, me and him would relate on a lot of stuff, but we also, in all the small details, would disagree on a ton of shit because we're both super biased on what we grew up with. Like when we were arguing about Metallica versus Van Halen being the better young guitar player, Kirk versus Van Halen, he was like, well, Van Halen they made me want to play instruments. I'm like, well then, even if I were to, like, no matter what I say, like, he's always going to be your favorite because you have a bias, which makes sense. I have a bias as well. So that doesn't bother me what Tommy says. But I still think...
If you had to spend an island trip or be stuck on an island, we'll stick with the island thing for now, with one of the members of this show, and that's the only person you got to hang out with for the next year, who would you pick?
Oh my god. Okay. Can I give the pros and cons to all of them first?
Do however you want.
So Tommy is more passive. But I feel like with my sense of humor that I would wear him down and he's the kind of guy that just shuts down and is like, I'm not talking anymore, which would get boring to me. Brad would be the opposite, where he would kill me and wear my skin. But I would have fun until he killed me. But you and me, I think me and you played up on the show more, but me and you have known each other longer. I've known you longer. I've known Tommy and Brad. I've met them, but I didn't really get to know them until we started the show. Until I came on to do the Batman vs Superman show. So you, like, me and you relate more. So if there was no audience,
how many days on the island till we fuck?
Till we fuck? God, I honestly cannot go 2 weeks. I get irate 2 weeks without sex. So if no woman's involved, it's just a dude.
No, we're on the island with no sign of getting off.
Yeah, so I give it. So if it's 2 weeks, if I'm married and I get irate, if it goes more than 2 weeks, with no women involved, I'm just a dude, I give it 3 weeks before I'm like trying to like sauce you up, talking to you like, hey Dylan, like, you want a back rub?
That's your move, back rub?
Back rubs are always the move, right? It's either back rub or licking pussy, and you don't have one, so it's gotta have a back rub.
So, you and I are fucking on an island.
We're fucking on an island, but we're never gonna be facing each other. Because I've always had this theory.
We may not be facing each other, but we're gonna be facing the same direction, obviously.
So I face you to a palm
who's
tree.
Closer to the tree that we're facing?
I don't think I would ever like. Honestly, I would assume we're both in the same boat, where we probably don't like shit in our ass. So we would have to evenly take turns and just be like, because I don't think any of us would be bottom for too long. We would have to just come to an understanding of we're stuck here.
Do you not think I would overpower you and just be top all the time?
Well, if you were violent and mean to me, I would just move to the other side of the island and just jerk off. And we just would never see each other. But if you wanted to like do a commitment, I feel like we would switch on and off, you know?
What if I promised reach arounds regularly?
I don't know if that would... I've never been a fan of hand jobs. I would feel like that was high school.
That's
even
because
in high school,
girls always gave them to you.
And they don't know what they're doing.
Guys know what they're doing.
That is true. But we don't have lube, though. You use fucking salt water. Ugh. The fucking... That always reminds me of fucking Brokeback Mountain. The... God, I can't believe... That movie should have been NC-17 just for that scene alone. Even though they didn't show it.
So...
What a weird... I don't even know. When we were talking about my beard at one point, how did we get around to reach around on an island?
No, it's just a question. It's just a question. And we're trying to figure out your soul right now. That's why I'm glad you're
and my lack of a soul.
You have some. There's a little trinkle left. I mean, you've clearly let that resource, be expended quite often in life.
I'm like Voldemort, where I've done so much fucked up shit where like it's separated and I don't... You have to take a piece of your soul every time you kill a muggle.
No. Alright. Wait. How long has this shit gone on? 21 minutes.
Bye, Brad.
21 minutes in. And I still don't feel like we've really captured you.
Is there a way to capture me though? I'm such an oxymoron.
I assume it would take a gold ball.
Yeah, I'm such an oxymoron because it honestly boils down to I feel like I have, and I'm so content. I feel like most people and through their lifetimes never are content with what they have and what they want. And me from a very, very early life, or a very early point in my life, became content with what I had and what I have, and somehow I fucking looked my way into everything I have. Because I certainly didn't work hard for it.
No.
Not that I'm not a bad person. Not that I'm not a hard worker, but I didn't work hard for it. I got a job that's an easy 9 to 5 that I just like do tasks. I don't have to work in commission or anything like that. I can still do my passions outside of work. Married with kids. It's all good. Everything comes together. Always have good relationship with friends and family, except for my siblings. But my parents are awesome. So I feel like because of that, and I also have the sensibility to where I've never been depressed in life. I've always had the mindset that I'm always thankful and lucky for what I've had, and I always know that things could be worse. Like I always think about when I hear people complain, like there's people in countries that have to walk like 9 miles to get water, and they don't have electricity. Like how are you complaining? Like even if we're here in America and you have a shitty life, you still were born into a better life than most people have. And I'm never going to complain. So I do and publicly, but you guys and my friends like know me that like I feel like I'm like humble and like I never brag about anything. I don't
think humble's a word we would use to describe you.
Have you ever heard me brag? Oh, like you've never heard me, and like certainly I have everything to brag about.
Elitism out of the corners of your mouth.
Okay, so I have this part of me where I always talk about how fucking awesome I am, but never like I never said like this is blah 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 why. Like I just am said like I'm always happy and positive, and for that makes me a really good person. But I try not to brag. It's but yeah, you're right. I do always play off like I'm always happy and I'm always like on top of everything. It might be because I am, and but I'll never brag about why. And I'll also never I never like to down talk anybody that's not in a playful manner. And I also do the Kevin Smith thing where I also make fun of myself a lot and put myself out there and purposely say shit to get people to fire back at me for comedy's sake. Because I'm also like an Anthony at Jeselnik, who I feel like everything should be able to be joked about. And I never have any reservations, and I feel like that if I've never once been like, I'm offended, please stop. As long as like, I feel like if I don't, which might be a bad way to be in life because I've came across instances where it's backfired on me, but I feel like if I've never been able to say like, I'm offended, stop, that like no one should be able to say it back to me as well, because I've certainly never been like, oh, that's gone too far. I feel like everything in life is, you should be able to talk about everything in life, even like tragedy. It just helps the healing process. And like, God forbid, like my mom dies the next day, like I'd be the person who makes your mom joke the next day. And if someone did it back, I'd be like, oh, that's funny. Like, not that I don't care, but I just feel like everything in life should be joked about, and there's a time and place for seriousness. If that makes any sense.
Well, I took from what you just said that you would make jokes about your mom's death. That's what I essentially heard.
Which is probably, yeah.
Which I don't think is... I understand how you meant it. That your process of dealing with life is comedy.
Yeah, exactly. You
would sign how dark the topic. Which is good. That's good.
You would sign in on Messenger or on a group chat and hear me say, my mom's funeral was from 8 to whatever. By the way, that bitch is dead. And that's the message you would probably get. And then an LOL and a fucking GIF of someone scratching their head.
I think that's a good stopping point. I feel like we'll end. I'll let you have a moment here to end because if anyone just tuned in, we essentially just crossed the path.
It just tuned in like someone skipped to the 26-minute mark.
Like if someone was watching this and someone just walked up to it, they essentially just heard you say...
Oh, whoever is watching this doesn't have any friends, but we can assume so.
It's true. It's true. So, superheroes are your thing. A big part of
They're a DC, and superheroes.
Just superheroes in general.
Yeah, superheroes are, I would say, in the top 10.
Things in your life.
Yeah. I'm super into comics and fantasy.
So, I assume in your top 10, it's wife, second child, first child. That's your 10, 9, 8.
I can't group the kids together because that's typically how I do it.
No. First is always the best.
Yeah.
So, it's 10, 9, 8 is your wife and your 2 kids. Give me 7 through 1.
DC.
DC 7.
Yeah. Oh, it have to be in order.
Yeah, of course in order.
Okay, fuck. Okay.
And you gotta do it quick.
You gotta do it backwards.
That way it's a real thing.
Can I start from 1 down to 7?
No, go from the worst to the best. That's why I already named your wife and kids.
Okay. One of my options is sex. Does that get roped in with wife, or is that a separate?
No, that's a separate thing because you don't have to have sex with your wife.
That's fucking true. Anyway,
So we'll go sex. Let's drop that at 7.
So 7 would be, I'd say television.
Okay. 6.
Podcast.
5.
YouTube.
4.
DC Comics.
3.
Now, does DC Comics do comics, the animated
We'll
shows?
just say DC universe
everything.
entire encapsulated.
Young Justice, all that cool shit.
TV, comics, movies, everything. Just
Okay.
encapsulated.
So now we're at 4.
4.
Movies.
3.
Stand-up comedy.
2.
Which I gotta throw a shout out to Jared Carmichael, who doesn't get enough love. The new Dave Chappelle specials. And Anthony Jeselnik. And Chris Rock. Who's terrible in
2.
movies but good. So 2. Sex.
1.
Music. Hands down.
So you heard it here. There are 7 things more important to David than his wife and child.
That was a huge setup for that joke, but that's a good punchline. But that's true though. I would put
No, we made you go fast. That's your list.
Yeah. I put my kids before my wife, so that makes sense. Wife is 10, then my kids. I love my wife to death, and she's my best friend.
No, you don't have to try to sell it. Your wife doesn't watch this shit that we do.
No, she doesn't. But it's funny. I do go back and I tell her shit that we say.
So,
but she's really curious to meet Brad, who keeps talking shit talking her family, and I'm like, he keeps saying he's curious to meet you, and she's like, well, why does he never come out? I'm like, I don't know. He has more free time than any of us and doesn't have shit to do, but he keeps avoiding us.
So anything they should know before we end this? Is there anything that we missed here in this little brief interview? By brief, I mean 30 goddamn minutes of my life I don't get back.
I don't even know. I just hope that if me and you were ever on a desert island, that we could come to an understanding where we could each fuck each other and not one of us be the permanent bottom.
One of us?
And not me be the permanent bottom.
That's it. Thank you, everyone. This has been a moment to get to know David, one of your hosts of Forward Slash.